They want you to be happy for the crumbs that they give you. And it's something we talked about in our episode of Drop the Stones this week, where we're talking about the powers that be, whether they be religious, political, work, whatever, that want you to be thankful and just pretty much just rejoice in the fact that they're giving you scraps from the table that they're eating from. And an example would be in my life, this old job I used to have that I worked for many years. And in this job, I had a few different hats I'd wear as management. And one of them was that I'd take over departments and that were losing money and help them and rebuild them and get them back on the right path of making profit again. I would, help write the labor and keep labor in line for the whole retail business that I would be in. And just a lot of different things that they would call and say, hey, you're a numbers guy, take care of this stuff, see what you can do to get it right. And I'd be good at it. And I'd complete a task or whatever and be like, I should get some compensation for this. I switched this completely around. I'm putting a lot of money in the boss's pocket. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, you're doing a great job, excellent, and it would be the equivalent of, hey, here's a gift card to McDonald's or something. Thanks for helping out. And I'd go in and ask for raises and be like, we just can't afford it right now. And I was brainwashed by the company, and I didn't think anything of it, but looking back, it's like I was making you thousands and thousands, and you couldn't give me a few bucks a month extra to help live and meet expenses. Because one time I went like 6 years without a raise in working for this company, and I remember going into it, and finally after that 6 years, just, hey, you know what? It's been a long time, and every year it was like, well, you're at the maximum of what the scales say that you should make for your position. And finally I broke and was like, you know what, fuck the scales, I'm making you a ton of money, the scales should be adjusted for what's going on here. And it was a pulling of teeth type thing. And finally they're like, all right, since I was salary and I was working 80 plus hours a week, they're like, here you go, here's an extra $25 a week on your paycheck. And they expected me to be clicking my heels and happy about this. This was nothing. Again, working 80 hours a week, what's that equate out to? A couple bucks an hour and working. So, I just wasn't happy, and finally found a better job that kind of recognized that, and at least gave me a little more for what I was doing and what I could accomplish. And it's kind of what I see what's happening here. All these things in this that are being offered to you through religion, where give us your tithe and keep giving us, and thank you for that, and you know what, come to this feast we're doing that everyone else is preparing the food for and doing this, and we'll give you recognition and grace, but they never give you anything back for what you're doing. Or the government that's taking all this taxes from you and saying, oh, we're going to give you, look at all this money we're saving. How much are we going to get back from that? Granted, it's only a few $100 million, and you divide that by a few 100 million people in this country, and you start to realize that that's going to be pennies on the dollar back to us. And what we get when you start thinking through it, they're taking the whole bakery, all the bread, all the donuts and everything else, consuming it themselves and making themselves fat, and then when they're done, giving you the crumbs. Don't accept the crumbs anymore. Understand what's going on. Understand and put your mind to it and calculate the numbers and figure out what exactly is happening. Don't be in awe by $500 million cut here. See what that is in actual relation to what's going on, and you'll be surprised. It's just a small percent of everything that they're doing, but they want to make you feel big because it looks big to the individual. Get your mind on you, start thinking through some of this stuff, and realize they want you to be happy for little crumbs. Don't accept it. Don't be happy. Look for the loaf of bread yourself.